Hey, this is Jaime with Echo Real Estate Advisors. Today we're going to focus on getting some leads using Quora. So if you haven't heard about this website, don't worry about it. By the end of this video, you're going to be an expert in it and how to be pulling leads without you having to actively be there. It's a great system once you get it going. Now, it's a little bit different from our typical videos where we cover topics, strategies, and advertisements where instantaneously we're getting some leads, or maybe not instantaneously, but in a short amount of time. So Quora, it can yield you fruits in the very first day, but it can also be reaping you rewards in the next week, 2 weeks, months, even years after you post. And it'll make a lot more sense here in a few seconds. We're going to go through the who, what, when, where, why first, and then we're going to jump over and do a demo. So let's just jump in. All right, so what is Quora? Putting it simply, it's a question and answer site, very similar to Reddit. So people are going to post questions on this website, and they're going to be asking very specific questions. Typically, when you are looking for answers as a consumer, client, entrepreneur, business owner, whatever, you're going to go to Google and start seeking out an answer. So typically you may have a question, let's say, how to buy a home. You're going to go to Google and you're going to try to find a good blog that talks about it. Now more days you're going to see a recommended blog or a recommended website, followed by a lot of ads from real estate agents trying to get in front of you. And then you're going to be pushed over to a video. And since Google owns YouTube, there's a good chance that you're going to see a YouTube video along the top of the search bar. So that's the traditional method. However, once people stop after that first page and they're not getting the answers that they're getting or that they're seeking, if the question is specific enough, they're going to jump over to Quora and see if it's been asked before. And if it hasn't been asked before, they're going to ask it, and they're going to wait on either professionals or people that have knowledge in that topic to answer it. And we'll cover that here in a few seconds. Essentially, it's the marketplace of good answers. Very similar to Reddit. You get upvotes, downvotes, and let's just say, let's stay with that same topic, how to buy a house. If I wanted to know the exact process, I would go to Quora and ask it. Then what's going to happen is either real estate professionals or people that know about real estate or people that are heavy contributors to Quora are going to start answering it. And you can get anywhere from 0 answers to 100, 200, 300, depending on the popularity of that question. Now, that specific question of how to buy a house has already been asked quite a bit, and that's actually the strategy that we're going after. So once all these questions start being asked, the people that are reading and have that same question, they're going to be consuming the content, and they're going to do upvotes or downvotes. So if your answer is addressing the specific question that has enough value, you're going to start getting upvotes, and essentially you're bookmarking yourself at the top of the question, and you're going to be seen as the authority. And another way to look at it is it's a global blog. The only difference is you don't have to get the traffic. This blog produces 700 million views a month. So this website drives 700 million views every single month. In its category, the only website in the category that beats Quora is Wikipedia. So we've all heard of Wikipedia, but Quora is almost like the worst kept secret, I suppose. So just think of it as a global blog where you can be writing your own content and have it on your own website and really just try to drive as much traffic there by posting on social media, doing advertisements, sharing it with friends. But you're writing it from a perspective of what you think your consumers are interested in digesting. However, this flips the model in its head where you know what people are asking And instead of you investing all this time and writing a full detailed blog on something or a topic that you think is going to be valuable to people and then have to drive traffic to it, you don't have to do that. Now you get to see the demand, essentially the questions that are being asked, and you can write that same content over on a website that's going to drive so much more traffic than 99.999% of the traffic that you could drive your own or yourself. So hope that makes sense. All right, now that we've talked a little bit about what Quora is, let's talk about why. It's not social media advertising and it's not search engine advertising. So you're not going on Facebook and doing ads. You're also not going on Google advertising and paying for clicks. So essentially this is a free strategy that when deployed is going to get you leads. It just will. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So home buyers are on this website. Home sellers are on this website. And so are investors asking specific questions that they asked in Google search, or a lot of people actually bypass Google search altogether and come straight to Quora because it's been good to them in the past. And they know that they can get specific answers to their questions. So real estate's a very common topic. I was about to say doctoring, but that's not a word. Anything related to healthcare is very hot. Anything that comes to that's revolving around business ownership or entrepreneurs, taxes, legal advice, health advice, those topics are very trendy in Quora because people want to go ask a specific question. So in real estate, people want to ask specific questions relating to them. It's a customized solution for them. So they don't have to go and mix and match several different websites with several different blogs, taking a different perspective. But anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Let's just continue. So home buyers, home sellers, and investors, they're pre-qualifying themselves. If they're asking a question relating to real estate, let's say, how can I buy my first home? Or what should I look for when I am purchasing my first home? Well, what if they just tell you, they just pre-qualified themselves? They're telling you that they are either now or in the future considering purchasing a home. So they pre-qualify themselves and make themselves known. You answer that question, not only do you address that question for the specific person that's answering it, but also for the followers of that question. So Quora does a good job of doing notifications, and people that are active in Quora and may have that same question but haven't seen an answer that really appeases their interest, they can follow that question. So not only does that person benefit from your answer, but let's say the 10 people that are following that question. And beyond that, the future people, the future prospects that have that very same question, when they're typing it into the search bar, they're going to see your answer. So something that you produced today, an answer that you took 15 minutes to craft today, is going to yield results tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, and years to come. So if you put the system that we're about to go through to use, it's going to not only help you today, but weeks from now, months from now, and years from now. All right, so what you're trying to do is establish authority, and you're trying to pique the interest of people that are home buyers or home sellers or investors to where they see your answer and it's so well crafted that they like, wow, this person really helped me out. So you're establishing that social clout, that professional clout, and really establishing authority that you are the real estate agent that knows what he or she is doing. And every time that you answer, it stays on there. It's your content. It's your blog on a blog, if you will, on that global blog that I mentioned. And you're leaving webhooks out there because everything that you produce today is going to exponentially grow if you do this daily or if you do this weekly. So depending on your strategy. but we'll get into the system here in a few seconds. All right, the system. I just laid it completely out there. When you're answering the questions, you want to drive traffic to your own, traffic to assets you own. So that whether that be landing pages or the websites that you have, or direct links to lead magnets, essentially something that's relevant to the question that you are answering. So once you answer a question, you do want to either present to them that specific you do want to answer the question, but you also want to drive traffic over to assets that you own, essentially have a call to action for that specific person and anybody else that is viewing the answer. Of course, you want to create a Quora account. So the system, before you create, it's either or. You can create the account first, or you can create the traffic. If your strategy when you're doing Google ads or Facebook ads is to drive traffic to your landing pages, then see Quora as a traffic generator where you have content out there that's going to push people back over. So you of course want to create the account, but be sure that you complete it. Very similar to LinkedIn, some people leave the picture blank, so you have a blank avatar, or you don't have what profession you're in or what you do, or you don't have contact information. Be sure you complete the profile, and in the demo you'll see why. And select related industries, so anything related to real estate. As soon as you create your profile, it's going to ask you what you're essentially what you're an expert at, what you have knowledge in, or what you'd like to hear more about, and the topics that you would like to be notified on. So be sure that you complete as many related industries as possible. Well, for us, it would be real estate. And search related questions. So stay focused. There's a lot of derivatives of this technique, but highlight your favorite 5 that you're going to continually look for and then expand. But stay focused. It's too easy to go off and start being an author in every single topic. Stay focused, because at the end of the day, the commitment, how do you spell commitment? The commitment that this system requires is 15 minutes. So I'm not suggesting anything more than that or really anything less than that. If you commit to this weekly, at bare minimum, you're going to see that whatever you produce today and whatever you produce a week from now is going to start aggregating. It's that compounding factor. So commit 15 minutes to it, answering the questions. And the last slide before we jump over to the demo will be geared towards how to answer the questions. But also ask questions. But ask probing questions, not general questions that home buyers would ask, but ask questions like, what is keeping you from buying a house? What do you look for in purchasing a home? So guide that conversation, because again, people are pre-qualifying themselves when they're asking. If you are asking these types of questions, they are pre-qualifying themselves. Answering the questions that you proposed out there, that you threw out there. So it's in reverse, if that makes sense. Okay, now how to answer a question. Be thorough. Think of it like a blog. Do you want to be as comprehensive as possible? Again, you're investing 15 minutes in addressing one question, or if you have time, 2 or 3 questions. But be thorough, do answer the question, and be comprehensive, because at the end of the day, you want, in this marketplace of ideas, you want people to upvote you, and you want to be bookmarked at the top of the page so more people can either follow you or reach out to you directly if your content is good enough. Avoid appearing spammy. Don't just drop a link to wherever you're trying to drive traffic to, because Quora will delete that post. It just will happen. Also, people are going to downvote you, and again, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. Include as many visuals and videos as possible, because it breaks that visual pattern. And you'll see when we go through the demo of what I mean. Do include some links back to your site or your top of funnel. Again, you want to create that asset if you have some landing pages, or if you want to drive them to your actual blog or to your agent web page or your broker, whatever, wherever you're trying to drive them to where ultimately you can pixel them or have that call to action to where they actually register their email and you start on that drip campaign. Include some links back to an asset that you own. Whatever it may look like, you may be doing this with different intention of just approaching sellers, buyers, investors. Try to drive that traffic over to an asset that you know and be findable by completing your profile on Quora. So with that said, let's exit and jump over to Quora. Okay, when you log in, this is the homepage that you're going to get. It looks a little bit weird if this is the first time that you've seen it, but no worries. Here's exactly what you're going to be doing. On the left-hand side, you're going to see topics that are of interest to you, which means whenever you created your profile, they're going to ask you what topics are important to you, what topics do you want to be involved with, and they're highlighted here. If you want to add some, you can edit it here and add more topics that you think will ultimately bring you the leads that you're seeking. So this is your home page. You can ask the question here. Well, let me go up here. Either people that follow you or Quora itself will ask questions or send you questions to answer. So there's always going to be requests for you to answer questions. You don't have to. You can just click through and say, well, you don't have to report it. You just delete those. You don't want to answer them. And then notification, anything that happens, you're going to get notified here as well. But back to the main page. What is your question? And it does have to be a question. They will exclude it if you're not doing a question. So be sure that you're asking a question. Let's see, how to buy a house. And the reason that I am putting this is when I am looking for people that want to buy a house, this is something that they're going to be asking. So I want to see the people that are asking this question because I want to solve it for them. How can I buy a house in the US? Okay. This is where you're gonna land. I want to show you real quick. On the right hand side, you're gonna see the popularity to see if it's worth your time. I see there's 14 public followers, so they're gonna be notified as soon as I answer this. And it's had 4,000 views. It's been asked in the past year to merge questions. So if there's two questions that are very similar, they're gonna merge. And well, no edits. So this is the question that was being asked. You can answer it here. You can follow the question to see what type of answer that they get. Again, if somebody is a home buyer and read through the answers and they weren't satisfied with it, well, they're just going to follow it and they're going to ask it in a different way. So essentially, they're going to find an answer to it. They're going to get an answer to it, or if this is not specific enough, they're going to ask a derivative question from this. And they can request somebody to answer it. So if they know somebody that's on Quora or heavily invested in it. But anyway, so let's just get to the answers. I don't want to have this video be too long for you. All right, so we have somebody that answered it, but that blank avatar. And you see the stats based on that person. Now you'll see the upvotes at the very bottom. They only have one upvote, but you see that it's been viewed this many times. So these are potentially 343 people that have viewed this question, and they have clicked through and have been home buyers at one point or another, or shared an interest in learning how to buy a home in the United States. So these are potential leads. Now, well, let's just keep going. All right, somebody else. This person, Annie Kruger, 45 years in mortgage, and real estate industry. So this person answered it in 2016. We're in 2018. So this answer that this Annie person responded to is still here. Now, the thing that I see here is this is very informative, and it received 2 upvotes, and it has a lot of views. However, the call to action, I don't see a call to action. This is not what I would suggest when you're answering the question. You want to, one, have some visuals and make it engaging to where people want to read your content, and then 2, have some links here that are redirect them over to an asset that you own. But if I were to read through this and I see enough value in Annie's question, I say, well, Annie knows so much. What's Annie up to? Oh, Annie lives in Austin. I'm in Dallas. They're not that far away. I can follow Annie, or what's going to happen is, if I'm that, again, remember, if I'm that home buyer, I'm thinking, okay, well, Annie answered my question perfectly. There's a lot of content in it. Let's see what Annie's about. All right, so, okay, so she works for Home Start. There's something about Home Start. Okay. Great. Oh, and I see that she's been contributing everywhere else. But anyway, so she solved my issue, and this is hers. What I would suggest when you're filling out your profile, to leave links up here. Actually, we'll just jump over to my profile real quick. Have a way for people to reach out to you. So, Realtor and Marketing Strategist, free Remind course. This is the course that I have, and I offer it free for real estate agents. All they need to do is click through, and they're going to go over to my course. So I'm redirecting people since real estate agent is my target audience, not necessarily home buyers or home sellers, I'm redirecting real estate agents, i.e. you, from this site over to a content that I own. So an asset that I own. I'm sorry, not content that I own. This I own anyway. Get more buyer, seller, investor leads. Book a strategy session. So I put a Calendly link here to where when they click through it, they're going to come over and book a call with me. So again, not only when I'm answering questions, I am providing value, and in my questions, I have webhooks that are going out to assets that I own. But YouTube, what you're watching right now, what's going to happen is once this video, you may have been on Quora and seen the answer. So I go out there and I include my own content and content that I write, if that makes sense. So this video is one that I produced, and it's going to help me with my boostings and my views. So anyway, make yourself findable, and when you're answering these questions, be sure that you're putting your contact information. If you don't want to have your phone number out there like this, go to Calendly, get a free link, and do exactly what I put here. Put a link to where when people go to your answer, and they see enough value in it, this is a bad example because they didn't fill out their profile, but this is where they're landing. This is what mine looks like. But if this answer was valuable enough, I want to be able to contact you. And sure, you may not be in the same state, but the beauty of real estate is you have referral fees. So I'm sure this is a lead, and I'm sure you know or have enough foresight to reach out to somebody in Austin and see who can actually help the person that you got a lead for. Like the lead that came to you, you're able to get that referral commission. So anyway, this is how you get Quora leads. Just be intentional for one, but also be consistent and do this every week. 15 minutes is all it takes, and you're going to be building your content. And you're seeing answers here from 2017, from 2016. Some people may have already been reached out to, meaning if some people may have already gotten leads, or essentially it's content that stays out there is what I'm getting at. So anyway, just be findable, be consistent, and you're going to see that over time, not only are you going to have so much content, but you're going to have a lot of webhooks out there that are driving traffic to assets that you own, and ultimately you're going to be getting leads from Quora. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but if you're persistent with it, you're going to have so many webhooks out there. At some point, it's going to exponentially be fed to you. So anyway, thanks so much, and I hope this helped out.